Here they come. Oh, solo shit. It's picture perfect outside, and it makes me want to take a video. Just a brief recap on this weekend's activities. I spent yesterday completing a portion of the sCRAP Boardwalk. On the northern side of the house, and I took some of the interesting panels that I got on some of the pallets that I haul, and always wanted to make a kind of a creative use out of them. So anyway, yesterday they just sort of divinely inspired folded into the project on completing the back side of the boardwalk. These elements still need securing. They weren't perfect. They required a little bit of patchwork, but oh yeah, also a shout out to my buddy Greg. Many thanks for the decking that he furnished me with. He had a bunch of sCRAP decking, and I made good use of it. Those sCRAP deck boards are actually the 3 support beams for the decorative sort of wood framing, grid pattern, whatever. And that leaves me with just this last little segment of sCRAP Boardwalk to complete, which I don't think I'm going to do today because of what led me to start filming this today, right now, is that it's just fucking perfect outside. It really is. And you know, life has been full of struggles, and this place looks like a fucking dump, and there's an endless supply of work to be done, and I don't mind the dump aspect so much. I love the projects, but life struggles can often get me down and you know, stuck in my head to a point where I forget something that's critically important to my sincere enjoyment of this life. And when I can get out here and cloud out all the other stuff, silence the racehorses, meditation is of course a great practice. It definitely reminds me that we live in a fucking paradise. Just an absolute paradise. So having caught up on things, I decided to take a walk into the woods. It's a beautiful hot summer day outside, and of course when you go into the woods it's a lot cooler, a lot shadier, and just more of a hospitable environment in the depths of the summertime. So I decided to spend some time today getting back to the forest and clearing out some of the path that my late brother and I had cleared several years ago. And this was initially the first path that we used to discover the actual location of the creek. And the creek being a critical element for having purchased this land, I wanted to make sure that I had running water, because it is my goal and objective to make divine use of this gift to sustain my life and allow me to thrive. Oh yeah, yesterday I also found a crayfish that is the biggest I'd ever seen. I didn't imagine they'd get that big. It was right over there on the edge of those blocks. And I noticed a whole bunch of other ones crawling around. They're probably all hunkered down under these rocks and stones and such, but that's always good to know. Crayfish are good eating. So one of these days I'll have to do some hunting. But I've just been taking the weed eater out here, you know, clearing a path through the fern gully. And of course that's one of my favorite aspects of this whole place, or the prolific abundance of ferns, particularly here on the forest floor by the creek. And I'd love for those ferns to completely cover this whole area aside from my little walkway. And they're doing a very good job so far. They seem to be spreading far and wide and thickening. That's the most important part, is that they thicken so that their leaves can drown out all the competition, the briars, so on and so forth. But I just wanted to take you on a brief nature stroll, because this is my paradise. So here we are at the end of what I've cleared out so far. And I'm gonna make my way all the way, probably, I don't know, another 1,000 feet or so to the cutoff of this sort of island structure. There's a very steep hill and incline. It almost makes a wall on this end of the creek. At the end of this it's sort of an island. So it wraps up and all the way around and goes up, and it's a runoff system from this field that's to my south. And so that hill comes down, tracks down to the base of the creek, and then it cuts this little island section off. And I actually want to use that hill as a backdrop. Anyway, if I get there, I'll show you. Backdrop for a shooting range. Hopefully a 100-meter shooting range at least, because a lot of this forest back here is free of clutter and debris and all that sort of shit. And anyway, I'd like to open it up and make a sort of a secluded shooting range back here in the bush. I think it'd be fun. And I also want to dig a hobbit hole in the side of that hill. Something Tim and I wanted to do. So anyway, to be continued. Hope you have enjoyed the piece of nature, and I'm going to continue doing the same. Peace. And here it is. This is the crossing. So this is the creek that's been running up parallel to the trail that I blazed yesterday. And this is where it crosses and sort of makes an island style feature here. Clearly it severs the land in a very shallow manner. This is a runoff spillway. And here is, I believe, the ideal location for a shooting range. A nice long distance range. Makes a perfect backdrop. Of course, long and short distance range, of course. Nice wall-like feature. That's to where all the water runs down from the neighboring field. Comes into this channel here. And basically cuts this segment of the land into an elongated island. So enjoy the nature walk. And my thought is, so if I can clear a nice straight path, we can create a very nice, quiet, peaceful place to shoot, with plenty of buffer zone between me and the neighbors. But the neighbors are a long way away. We blew up 2 pounds of tannerite. They didn't mind. But once again, we live in a paradise. Till next week.